Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, y'all. It is Monday morning. We had a couple little technical difficulties in the background, and we are here because we said we were going to be here for the Hope and Her podcast. So we want to welcome you this morning to the Hope and Her podcast. We want to say good morning. We want to say how you doing. We want to say thank you for coming. We want to say hey now, and all the things. Listen, today is a very special day. So one of the things that I've done is I've just, kind of put out a general invitation for folks if you're interested in being a part of this podcast, you can say, "Hey, like I want to be on the first fruits to 40 as you count down to your 40th birthday." And just let me know. And if it's a line, we give you the link and we set you up to be with us, right? So I gave this invitation maybe about a week ago, and so my brother put in the chat, I got a 40-day story. And I said, well, all right, then tell your story. Let's see what that's going to be about. All right. So, very special guest this morning is going to be uh, my when I say my brother, my blood brother, um, same mama, same daddy, right? And so this is going to be for any of you all that know us individually or know us as a collective. Y'all already know what this about to be like. All right. So let's see what it's gonna do. Without further ado, I am going to bring in my brother who goes singularly by Chip. So we're gonna bring him in. What's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing pretty good this morning.
All
I
right.
got I ain't gonna even go ahead.
So we are off. We off to the races. We off to the races already. Listen. So the first question I ask all of my guests is, "How do you know me?"
You said pretty much. You said it pretty much. We got the same mama, same daddy. We grew up in the same house in America.
Oh goodness. All right. So we got the so Chip is my older brother. Um, so it is he's a couple 2.5 years older than me. Um, so yeah, so that's an interesting dynamic. We were best friends from like, and when I say best friends, I mean in a brother and sister kind of way because you know, uh, from uh from the womb from the womb. All right, and so when you think of first fruits, what do you think of? Let's start there.
First fruits. I think of where my mind take me is to Cain and Abel when Abel had the offering. I know you said that before because I've been watching your podcast, but that's kind of just what I think of, your offering being the best that you can come up with, you know, not only, your best looking, your best that's all I could think of really.
Listen, listen, your best is your best, okay?
Your
So
best.
your best is your best. It is as it is, right? And I love that idea of talking about it from the point of best, um, because I do believe that we should live a life of excellence. And what does that mean, right? Like excellence means that if you like your excellence does not mean that it's going to be perfect every time. And so I want to be clear when we say it's your best. It's not going to be perfect every time because we're human, right? So it's not going to always be perfect, but if you can answer the question, did I give my best? Did I do all that I could do? Then I consider that excellence. Now, what that also mean is my excellence today or my best today may not be my best tomorrow, right? Like I may have a 10 today and I may have a
Right.
2 and a nap tomorrow
Right.
because it is as it is, right?
Right. That's just how life go. Like you said, like shoot. I remember when I was laying up there thinking my name was Chicago. and you was right there. And I just want to publicly thank you for that. In America.
All right, you. So first of all, you're welcome. Uh,
Mhm.
let's give the people a little bit of context there. Um, so, and then I'm gonna let my brother tell his story because it's his story to tell. But just to give a little bit of context, well, first of all, you said that you have a 40-day story. I'll give a context to the Chicago piece after you tell your story. So let's talk about your 40-day story. So as I'm journeying into this, I'm doing this 40-day countdown into my 41st year, to begin my 41st year. Um and you said I got a 40-day story. Go ahead and tell your story.
Well, last year I had a tumor on my brain. It was pressing on my pituitary gland, and they went in and they cut it out. Um, I spent 40 days in the hospital, um, and I was just thinking about the number 40. After Jesus got baptized, he was tested for 40 days by the devil, and the Israelites, they spent 40 years in the desert, and I was just thinking about that number 40, and that's a special number, but after I can say after that I got out of there, I'm doing pretty good now. Uh, I'm starting a internship this morning, evaluation for a job. So uh y'all pray for me on that. Oh, um I remember when some days when I was in the hospital, and I hear JP coming. I hear JP coming because I would hear the nurses like, thank you, and they'd be talking about some donuts or something. And I'll be like, she ain't bring me no donut. No. Oh man, yeah, but that was it was just a blessing to have her there, and my mama, she did too. She came there. I got a couple nieces that came, my sisters, but yeah, that was my 40-day experience. It was in the hospital.
All right. So 40 days, and I think you were 40 when you went in and 41 when you came out.
Yep, I spent my birthday in the hospital. Yeah.
All right, listen. So I'm gonna give us a little context here. So like my brother said, he had so last year he had a tumor on his brain that was pressing on his pituitary gland. That's what he said. And so let me tell y'all my side of of this story. And I haven't told this story publicly because it wasn't my story to tell. But now that you done you done broke the mold, let's just tell this story. So my brother was cutting up a little bit, right? Because he had this tumor, and we didn't know what was wrong with him, right? We just know he was cutting up, and so we were like, so my younger sister called me and said, Chip said something's wrong. I need to go check on. I said, well, go check on him. I said, I'm headed back in town. I was in Aruba. Those of y'all that know, it's my favorite place on earth. I was in Aruba, and it was the day I was heading back. And so I was on the airplane texting Crystal, like, just, she's like, well, what do I do with him? I was like, well, take him to Hurley. And so she was like, Hurley is the hospital in Flint. And I said, and she said, okay, well, what if he don't stay or what if he don't whatever? I said, if he acting like you say he acted, he gonna buy himself 72. And so what that means is I said it was
Oh
so what
shoot.
so because again we didn't know exactly what was going on at the time. And so what buying yourself 72 means is like if you go in and you're cutting up and they put you in like psych observation, you buy yourself 72 hours, right? Because
Yeah.
they gonna put you in for 72 hours. All right. So I said, he gonna buy it. I said, so he gonna buy himself 72. She's like, what do I need to say? Nothing. Just take him. And however. So whatever happened, he said something. He bought 72, right? Whatever it was that was said. So Crystal said, so my younger sister was like, um, well, they said they're gonna keep him, and they're gonna do whatever. So here's the thing: before you get a 72-hour hold at a hospital, they're supposed to do evaluation. So they do blood work, they do um, what you call it, CAT scans and different things of that nature.
Yeah.
So they ran all these tests, and what we thought was gonna be a simple 72-hour hold wound up being a massive emergency, right? Like, so they came back like this boy got a tumor on his brain. I said, oh, so again, I'm in the air headed back. I don't know, at this time, I might point in time, I don't know if I made it to New York when I got the news. Nope, I didn't make it to New York. She told me, she said it's fastest. He got something on his brain. I said he got something on his brain. Like what? What do you mean? What do you mean? And explained that it was a tumor, and we were shocked and thrown. Right? We just thought bro was cutting up a little bit. He was like he was shocked and thrown. And so this set us on this trajectory, right, of months in the hospital. And he was in the hospital a few days, over 40 days. He was cleared at 40 days, but we couldn't find placement for him right afterwards. So it took a little bit longer. And that is a 40-day journey. So listen, first of all, let me tell you thank you for your, bravery in sharing all of this. And so when he said he could hear me coming, baby, I was at that hospital every day, okay? Because a couple things you need to know when you're in the hospital. If you can by any means have an advocate for your loved one in the hospital, have an advocate for your loved one in the hospital.
Yes.
Because a lot of things are going on, and you got to have the right kind of advocate, right? You got to have an advocate who goes in and can chill, but also can get some things done. So, baby, in the mornings, I was bringing donuts. If I came in the afternoon, I was bringing pizza. Like whatever it took, to whatever. And um, so yeah, so like you said, he can see me coming. As you think about that journey, as you think about that time in the hospital, as you think about what that was like for you,
Mhm.
um, what was your first fruits during that time?
Ooh, my first, well, I could just about imagine how I felt when they told me that it was a tumor. Um, but I believe my first fruits was the day when we was in the hospital, and you remember you had prayed for me,
Oh, I
and
remember.
that door,
And
you
what?
opened that door, and it was on. We was yes, it was on. And another time though was I had a little swelling on my brain, and it felt like water, like you could push it in and everything. And JP touched it and said, "Oh, dry it up." And she went to her church family, and people that I don't even know was praying for me, and it dried up. It dried up. So yeah, that was what was up for real.
That was what was up. I'll take it. Listen. I'm gonna so, y'all know the web pages where they have the testimonials for so like when somebody's coming for some inner healing prayer or something like that, I'm gonna have this testimony on there with it dried up, and that was what was up. That's gonna be the testimonial. um and really, and so I love that, because the reality is all I had during that time was prayer, right? All I had during that time, I and here's what I know. Here's the thing. I know how to pray. Like I know to listen. I be talking to the Lord. Okay, do you hear me? And so Yeah, so we closed that door, and when we opened it, there was a change in the room.
Yeah,
We'll
it was. It was.
talk a little bit about that.
And we was in there singing. We had us a little church service in that thing that day.
It's funny because it's true. That's funny. So, so I love that. So now, as you are on the mend, right? It's been a year. It's been a little over a year, about 15 months since your surgery.
Yeah.
August, September, maybe about 16 months since your surgery. Um, so you're on the mend, and I heard you say that you have a interview, not an interview. You said you're starting an internship
Yeah,
today.
I'm starting what they call it is a vocational evaluation.
Mhm,
So I'm gonna go and I got a job for a month
mhm,
and it's at the Goodwill.
mhm,
And they do a lot of stuff at the Goodwill like that people don't really know about behind the scenes. And
mhm,
they they got me in there. Well, my caseworker got me in there,
mhm.
and well, through the man, after this surgery, I had so much to do. Like, goodness gracious, I had OT and PT, and then I was going to see Dr. Stuckey for uh mental evaluation, and then and that's where I got the referral to go for the orientation. So I gave it to my caseworker, and she got me in there. We had to push her, Lord.
Sometimes you got to push the casework. So
Yeah, we had to push her.
this is where you are. So, so post surgery has not been a cakewalk, right? Like you've had some challenges and some different things of that nature. So when he said he thought his name was Chicago, it wasn't that he thought his name was Chicago. We get to give you all a little context to that. So he had what is called, oh man, is it dysphagia? I can't remember. I think it's called dysphagia. And so when he came out of surgery, he knew one word. That one, like each day, there would be literally one word, not one word plus the word he had the day before. No, it would be one word. And so one day, the word, so it's like maybe this was the first day after the surgery, the word was Chicago. Now he thought that he was saying whatever you were asking him, but his brain wasn't connecting his language, right? And so you'll be like, what day is it? Chicago. What time is it? Chicago. What's your name? Chicago. Like you should know his name. Boy, like how you coming out the surgery with an attitude talking about your name Chicago. But man, when I tell you, I ain't never wanted to hit a sick person so bad. Like, bro, like oh, you got an attitude? Like that's what we doing. So, because maybe that personality was still there, right? And so the only thing that he could say like that particular day was Chicago, and there was a couple of other days. That was the one that stuck out to me because I was like, Lord, this can't be what we about to do for the rest of our lives, right? Like that was, but he could write, and so I was like, all right, so you can write, so we'll deal with Chicago, but you about to write. So I would go in there and I would have like these mental evals and all these things that I would do with my patients and stuff like that, right? So I'd go in there and he would be so frustrated. I didn't care. I didn't. I did not care. I was like, "Hey," because when they told me what it was, I knew that it could be shifted. First of all, I know Jesus. Second of all, I know that if you work with it, like the brain will relearn, right? Because your brain can relearn. And so I'm like, okay, since you can write, baby, we about to get some language. So I would go in there with a notebook and I'd be like, write down every name you know. And he would write down like his family members' names. I would have him write down, I would have him do the dementia test where I would be like, draw this picture. I would have him do all these things. Draw a clock. draw, draw
Lord.
draw a clock and put a time on there. So when I was doing all that, I was okay. drill sergeant. Okay, we started this in ICU. It was day 2 or 3. You woke,
Yeah,
you woke. Let's write.
yeah,
So
yeah.
now that we go back to that,
I
how did
thank
you?
you for that though, cause I seen a lot of the stuff that you did with me in the hospital after that. Like other doctors was using the same materials, and I was like, oh, I know this. Yeah, I was like, oh, I know this. I know this backwards and forwards.
But when it was happening and you were frustrated, talk to us a little bit about that.
It wasn't so much frustration. It was just like I was like, she come in here every day and ask me to draw a clock. Now I know good and well. Like what? Now why she want me to draw a clock? Lord? You know what I'm saying? I was like, why would you want me to write down the people in my family? I just don't understand this. And I thought something was wrong with you for real.
Because you thought it was me. You thought it was me, right? This boy could only say the word Chicago, right? And he thought it was something wrong with me. Let me tell y'all, since we telling this story, let's tell this story. So we at the hospital, and I said to him, I said, okay, well then write what you want, right? He couldn't articulate it. So I said, write what you want. Okay. Write down what you want. And so he started writing, and like part of his writing was illegible. And I was like, I need you to write this so I can get it. And so I was like, do you want this? He was like, no. Do you want this? No. By this time he got 3 words: Chicago, no, and yes. Okay, we gonna go with it. What do you, no, I don't want this. No, I said, okay, all right. Y'all, what he wanted was his phone. So when we got down around to what it was that he wanted, I don't know if the phone wasn't charged or whatever it was, but I was like, oh, you want your phone? And he gonna say, boom. I said, so your fourth word is boom? Great. You got Chicago, yes, no, and boom. Lord,
I remember that. I believe it.
that happened, sir. That happened. Now he was giving them people the blues, okay? So yeah, so boom was the fourth word. Okay, so we so we had yes, we had no, and we had boom. Let's talk to our audience real quick. So good morning to everybody. We see the number saying going up. Say hi to us because your hi matters. We are talking to my brother this morning, and he is here telling his 40-day story. Right, he's here telling us about his journey through having this brain surgery and all of those things. And so I'm excited, and he volunteered to be on the show. Right. So Dawn says, "Thank you, Lord." Chip went from saying Chicago to an internship. Absolutely. Diaji Hill is on this morning. She says, "Good morning," and she says, "Hey, Chip."
Hey,
So,
DPP.
hey, Dr. D. So we're grateful. We're grateful. We're grateful. We're grateful to God for like all the things that He has done in this time, and even like as He continues to progress, right? As He continues to do better. So as you continue to progress, as you continue to like reacclimate, I'm not even gonna say new normal because I don't think that is new normal yet, right? I think there's still growth every day. There's growth.
Yeah.
As you're reacclimating and continuing on this healing journey, give me an example of one thing that could be your first fruits. Dr. D says Chip is a walking, talking miracle.
I remember when I was sitting in the hospital and I would be looking out the window and I said, Lord, if you let me out of here, I'm gonna be out every morning. And since I came home from the hospital, I kept to my word and I go walk every morning. And that's my time with God. I believe, you know what I'm saying? Like, I go out and I pray, you know. And in fact, after I get off here with you, I'm going right outside and I'm gonna walk and do my thing. And I'm gonna come back, get ready for the Goodwill, and then I'm gonna start my day. You know,
And then I will start my day. So it sounds like Chip's first fruits is giving back to God and taking care of himself and really just spending more time with God. And so
Yeah.
we are excited. I'm gonna tell you, I'm excited about it. When you said you wanted to be on the show, I was like, okay. I figured you would tell a part of your story, so I'm excited that you felt comfortable enough to come and share with the people. And one thing I'm gonna say that I hope that the people get is hope from this. Like I talk about hope all the time. He knows
Yeah.
it ain't just it ain't just on this internet. I talk about hope all the time, and whether you're at your highest high or your lowest low, there's always more. And
Yes.
so there's never an opportunity to not fight, right? Like I will say this. And there were times when his hope got low, right? When he was in the hospital. I remember him saying, "Well, I don't think I'm gonna have this surgery." Now, what is we talking about? Because
Man, I tried to make a break for it. They caught me at the front desk, and then they gave me a babysitter. They gave I tried to run away.
so that is a true story as well. I got the call like, so your brother. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. He decided he was going to not be in the hospital. And so he was going to leave. Now, let me give you a little context on that. Because of the surgery, yeah, he had to come to Detroit because, Flint couldn't handle this type of situation. So he got transferred to
Yeah,
Detroit. He didn't know where he was from left to right, up to down, all right? And decided that he was going to leave, like he was going to walk out this hospital. Where are you going? Where are you going? So
I
they
knew
called.
looking out the window that there was a bus stop in front of that hospital, and I was going straight to the bus with a with a paper that was on my door that I thought that could get me, back to where I needed to be. But no, that didn't happen like that. That didn't happen like that.
So he was gonna go catch the bus. He's sitting up here waiting on a brain surgery, literally. But gonna put on clothes, go catch the bus, walked out of his hospital room with the blanket wrapped around him. Now, the crazy thing is that he made it to the first floor. He made it to some other floor on the hospital. He made it, and he must have asked somebody for a direct. Oh, then they put him on lockdown at the hospital with a sitter. That was, yeah. It was like, you have got to be kidding me. So then I had to start taking patients from his hospital room because, hey, listen, here we are, because you can't be trusted. But we are beyond the prison break, hospital break movement, and you are like Dr. D said, a walking, talking miracle, and we are excited about all that is to come for you. Again, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your story. Um, Y'all, for the listening people, got some things happening. We got lots of things happening. I need to mention Aruba 10-3 to 10-7, y'all. So we got a room left for that. We got the book is dropping. The book is dropping. That book is called Leverage and Hope. And we talked about hope this morning. That if you're at your highest high or your lowest low, there is always, always, always more. Hope stands for honest observation and practical execution. And in this case, for the honest observation, it was very much Chip had to go to the hospital and get all those tests done, like, and figure out what was going on with him, right? Going on with him. Why was he acting erratically? And that wasn't in his character. Um, and then um, practical execution was sticking it out. Practical execution was sticking it out, and it wasn't easy. Like it wasn't easy. Like you said, he tried to break out the hospital. Like we had to convince him to. We had to have church services at the hospital. We had to do all the things. But he is out and giving the first to God. Like he wakes up every morning, y'all. That's a miracle. Um, from the hospital bed to walking every morning. Um, and spending time talking to the Lord. So excited about that. So thank you again for sharing that. So you have to leave the audience. Oh, book giveaway. I am giving away a book. So I am on. I'm gonna leave the mic for 1 second. I am on with my brother. And so the book that I'm giving away right now is called Launch the Legacy. Launch the Legacy. I wrote chapter one in the book. It's an anthology where a lot of different people got together and we wrote different chapters in this book. It's called Launch the Legacy. The chapter I wrote was Finally Living Your Dreams. Finally Living Your Dreams. And it was our coach was the visionary author of it, Dr. Allie Griffith. And so I don't have a copy of it here. I meant to bring a copy to be able to show it to you all. But regardless, um, if you want that book, it's free. All I need you to do is say, "Hey, I want that book," and baby, I will. Looks like he said he wanted that book. All right, so we will get a. He raised his hand. We'll get a copy of that book mailed out to you. But also, we'll get the book and journal mailed out to you. But also, if you're catching it in the comments, I need y'all to put that you if you want that book, and we'll get that mailed out to you this week. So Chip, yes, you can actually have that book. So that leaves us down to I think maybe four more to go with that book. You know, it's my birthday, y'all. I like to give away stuff for my birthday, so we got some more stuff coming up that I'll be giving away. So again, if you want that book, right in the chat, I want that book and tag me, so I see it because I don't want to miss it. All right. All right, listen, Chip, give us one thing. We about to roll out of here. Give us one thing, bro, that will help us on the way pertaining to hope, pertaining to whatever. You know, what is one thing?
Uh, God is real. Um, God got a way of sitting you down, but He'll bring you out. If He sits you down, He'll bring you out. So that's what I know.
He said God is real. He has a way of sitting you down and he will bring you out if he sits you down. Listen, and I really do think about that time and that space. And that was a tough time. Like that was a tough time. And then still having to maintain life in it all as it was all happening and transpiring. Um, but he is bringing you out and you are on your journey out. So we are excited about that. I had me a sit down moment this year myself. So here we are. I didn't sat down and we didn't gave it to the Lord and all the things. And so now he is getting ready to see us out. So listen, y'all, take an honest observation of yourself and ask yourself, is it time for me to pause so that I can sit down and hear what the Lord is asking for me to do? Is it time for me to? Because if you let me tell you something, if you don't do it, he will do it for you. One of my recurring guests is the expert, the resident expert on getting out of God's way, right? And so God will, if you don't get out of God's way on your own, he will do some stuff to sit you down. And so we'll be with her on Wednesday. Tomorrow, my guest is what's tomorrow? Oh, it doesn't look like I have a guest tomorrow yet, but we'll see who God puts in place for tomorrow. Again, if you want to be a part of this podcast, just reach out and let me know that you want to be on. Wednesday, we'll be with our resident expert of getting out of God's way, and then we'll see where the calendar takes us from there. Chip, it was great to have you on. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for your vulnerability and being able to say, like, hey, I got a 40-day story, and thank you for telling it. This is just the first of many. And I believe God is going to do something great in your life as you continue to shift and lean on Him. All right? What you say?
I said, all right, thank you very much for letting me on the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dawn said, thank you for your testimony. She has such an inspiration.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said, she said, thank you for sharing your testimony. She has such an inspiration.
Oh yeah, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna tell it long as I live and I can speak.
And that's your first. And that's your first. All right, y'all. Have a blessed and amazing day. We love y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. And we out.